All right, there's big breaking news coming in. You're joining an India Today special broadcast where we've got reporters all along the international border as well as the line of control. Heavy shelling. We'd like to tell our citizens today that heavy shelling is on in the Mendhar and Pallanwala areas of the line of control. Unprovoked firing by Pakistan Rangers and the Pakistan Army has resumed once again at about 11:30 this morning. An army major has been injured in the Pakistan shelling. Remember, since last night, non-stop shelling has taken place in 2 to 3 areas along the line of control, which India Today had first reported to you. These are pictures from last night. The guns had fallen somewhat silent early this morning and have resumed once again at about 11:30 today. Pakistani army is firing at Indian forces using 120 mm mortars in locations like line of control Nowshera. The Indian army is giving a befitting reply to Pakistan's mortar attacks, including 120 mm and 82 mm mortars being used in some of these places. This is a huge escalation in hostilities. Well, the news on the other side is India's retaliation has resulted in 4 Pakistani posts being completely destroyed. This has been visually confirmed by India's forces. They've been able to identify that 4 Pakistani bunkers and posts on the other side have been completely destroyed. Joining me live right now, our correspondents, Executive Editor Gaurav Sawant bringing us the very latest, Jugal Purohit, our defense correspondent. We also have with us Ashraf Wani from Srinagar and Ashwini Kumar in the Jammu sector. They've both been reporting along the frontier and getting us the very latest. Gaurav, I'd like to come to you first. Big escalation in hostilities. It started last night. There was a small intermission today and it has begun again now at about 11:30, Gaurav.
Shiv, an army major has been injured in Pakistan Army shelling in ceasefire violation in the Poonch sector, and all along south of Pir Panjal, from Poonch to Rajouri to Mendhar to Pallanwala, there have been instances. The international border, which is by and large peaceful, Pakistani Rangers, and from what our sources in the BSF are telling India Today, that it's Pakistan Army in the uniform of Pakistan Rangers,
yes,
who are attacking Indian positions, not just BSF positions but also civilian areas, and there have been casualties on the Indian side in terms of injuries to civilians, injuries to BSF personnel. But from what sources are also telling us that Indian retaliation is punitive and massive damage inflicted across the international border on the Pakistanis. From what sources are saying, numbers will be made public very soon. Sources are saying it's significant damage. The BSF has had 3 fatal casualties in the past 4 days. The damage across the international border and the line of control, Shiv, is significant.
Significant damage along the line of control at Pakistani posts. Ashwini, I'd like to quickly get a word in from you because there has been a steady series of attacks, Ashwini, in the Jammu sector especially. We do know that many villages have been affected over there. Pakistan is continuing to shell some of those villages as part of this massive frontier escalation. What's the latest? What is the situation right now, Ashwini?
Yes, Shiv, just Additional Director BSF Arun Kumar, he has landed here from Delhi, and he is with us, and I just ask Mr. Kumar damages and the death of the total number of people killed by your fire in Pakistan, including Rangers also.
So far what we have estimated that including Rangers and their frontier forces and all their security forces, at least 15 of them have been killed, and what we have seen that a lot of people have been injured. In addition to that, they have a major loss in the civilian population, that not less than a dozen people have been killed. And we have been listening to the announcement from the mosques and the other information that is trickling in, that they have established temporary MI rooms. Their hospitals are full with injuries, and they have suffered much more damages what we have suffered.
Yesterday, your boys have seen from the border that burning of houses in Shakargarh and Mashur Badabai. Which type of fire they have been destroyed? How many houses and how many villages?
No, we are targeting basically their outposts only, and the names we are taking are the outposts of Pakistan, and they had caught fire and people have seen burning them. Then 2 of their outposts were razed to ground totally, and in some of the other fires the civilian villages have also been affected. But we are targeting mostly their outposts and their forward posts from where they are firing.
Mr. Kumar, some Pakistan regulars have also taken the bunkers of Pakistan Rangers because of the fire and the ammunition they are using. How you assess this thing?
Yeah, the type of ammunition that we have started receiving, especially 120, it seems that the Pakistani regular armed forces have also started supporting the Rangers.
Do you think that they have replaced or they have added army, Pakistani snipers, sharpshooters?
No, so far I think they are helping and aiding Rangers.
Mr. Arun Kumar, he said that the Pakistani regulars, they are helping the Pak Rangers, and there is a maximum damage across the border. 15 Pakistani Rangers killed and around 12 Pakistani civilian killed. That is around 27 people killed, and BSF is giving a befitting reply to the Pakistani Rangers all along the international border, and there is still firing and shelling is continuing in the Araspura sector, and 1 civilian is injured there also. Like on line of control, 1 major is injured in the Mendhar sector, and 1 BSF Jawan is slightly injured. They have been shifted to the hospital, and their condition is under check. Yeah.
Okay, the loss of life on either side is always tragic for families. The loss of civilian life especially is tragic. We are not bloodthirsty, we are not warmongering here on India Today, but we are covering what is definitely, our correspondents are covering what is definitely serious escalation in hostilities between the armed forces of both sides. On one side, of course, led by a government that is indulgent in terms of ceasefire violations and upping the ante. Ashraf Wani, our Jammu and Kashmir Bureau Chief, our Kashmir Bureau Chief, is also with us. Ashraf, the fact that the line of control after the surgical strike last month has already been on high alert, the heavy firing that you're seeing in some of these areas, may not really come as a surprise. But please describe for us, Ashraf, what's happening since early this morning.
Shiv, absolutely, there is a lot of tension, as all the people who were on our show were mentioning that there is tension visible on the line of control, whether it is the Kashmir or it is the Jammu region of the Jammu and Kashmir state. But so far, what yesterday differently was tried by the Pakistan, that was targeting a specific army post in Tangda sector in line of control in the Kashmir Valley, where 1 army Jawan got martyred and another got injured. That was a kind of an expedition by the Pakistani army where they wanted to take a revenge of surgical strikes what were carried out by the Indian army in Pak-occupied Kashmir. But the replying fire by the Indian army pushed those that attempt was foiled, and those which are believed to be the commandos of the Pakistani army were pushed back to their territory. But so far the tension is very visible on the line of control even too, because you can see from the Punch, from the Nowshera towards the south of it, and that is the Mendhar, Balakot, then starts the Uri, and now finally the Tangda and Karen sectors. The sectors in the Kashmir Valley are so far calm. There are preparations from the Indian side to tackle any kind of situation on line of control. But as far as the Rajouri, Mendhar, Punch sector as well as the Nowshera sector are concerned, the huge firing is going on there from the both sides. Mainly the ceasefire violation was carried out by the Pakistani army, and as the experts were mentioning that 120 mortar were used, which are something like the warlike situation on the line of control. So the Pakistani is trying to target the Indian posts, and that fire is being equally responded by the Indian army on the line of control here in the Jammu and Kashmir state.
Incredible numbers. Ashraf, you are closest to the action. You and Ashwani are closest to the action right now, and you're in touch with some of these units that are having to face the heavy Pakistan fire right now. Jugal is also in touch with his sources in the Ministry of Defence and the armed forces. Jugal, the army under heavy fire in, a handful of locations spanning from the Chicken's Neck sector all the way up to North Kashmir, from Mendhar in Poonch to Tangdhar in Kupwara. This is unusual. This has happened before. We've seen this kind of heavy shelling happening before, especially in the 2014 season of ceasefire violations that you and I both covered. So what is the army telling you right now, Jugal?
Well, Shiv, there is actually a context which many in the army are putting out, and that context has to be understood by viewers as well. This is everything, Shiv, is taking place in the aftermath of enhanced or escalated hostilities. The Indian Army, the Ministry of Defence, the BSF, they are all convinced about one thing, which is the fact that no matter what the level of escalation is, the Indian position is far, far superior vis-a-vis their Pakistani counterparts. They're saying that in terms of ammunition, in terms of the gun placements, in terms of the damage that we can inflict, we are far better placed than Pakistan is. The second aspect, and that is where India is holding itself back in the face of grave provocations, is that we do not, unlike Pakistan, we do not target civilian areas. And that's the reason why, as even the ADG of BSF was saying, that India is restricting itself to targeting only Pakistani army and Pakistani ranger posts. This is a huge difference, and that India has chosen to not attack or harm civilian population, even if it'd be on the other side of the line of control. And
Jugal, one follow-up question. The BSF officer we just spoke to said 15 Pakistan Rangers have been killed and a number of civilians have also been killed. Could this mean, you were at the line of control and the international border recently, and you've been interacting with these officers, Jugal. Could this mean that the Pakistan units are firing from civilian locations, a human shield kind of situation, in order to put the civilian lives in danger? Because that has happened in the past.
In fact, there are some areas, especially in the southern part of the Pir Panjal, where the civilian areas, the civilian proximity to the army and to the rangers especially is barely anything, if at all. And that's the reason why when the BSF ADG speaks about the civilian casualties, it's coming from that. If you have directed fire at your post from a certain location, obviously you're going to hit it back. It's actually the fault of the Pakistani that they choose to actually embed themselves in civilian areas. And Shiv, if I can just add one final point, it's not just about the line of control, it's not just about the IB. Even in the civilian areas of Jammu and Srinagar, where I've been speaking to people, they're saying that on account of what is taking place, there is absolutely nothing in terms of festivities around, and the civilians population there, not just on the LC and the IB, everywhere in that state is bearing the brunt for the enhancement of fire, where of course, as I just said, the Indian side is much more comfortable vis-a-vis Pakistan, and yet it keeps facing flagrant violations of the ceasefire.
Okay, I want to show our viewers a map of where these hostilities are taking place at this point of time. Let's put that map on your screen. That's the line of control. You can't see the line of control there. We've demarcated it. But these are the areas where there has been violence in an unusual level of escalation since last night. From Kathua near Jammu to Pallanwala, Sundarbani post, which has apparently been attacked in a very violent manner, the Rajouri sector, Mendhar, which is in the Poonch sector, Nowshera and Tangdhar, which are in northern Kashmir, in the Kupwara area of Kashmir. These are the sectors in which there has been an elevated level of concerted attack, as reported first by Gaurav Sawant last night, and it's continuing at about 11:30 a.m. today, which is why we're concentrating on this unusual level of violent escalation using heavy guns, including 120mm mortars. You've got 82mm mortars, medium machine guns. An army major has in fact been injured in the shelling in one of those sectors. We're not going to reveal the deployment pattern of the army. Obviously we're not going to do that, or reveal any operational details. Our correspondents are extremely responsible. We are bringing you a live situation of just what Pakistan is doing right now. Gentlemen, stay with me for a moment. We've got some breaking news coming in right now. Home Minister Rajnath Singh has asked security forces to give a befitting reply to any firing by Pakistan and the Pakistan army. Speaking exclusively to India today, Rajnath Singh has said that India is proud of its security forces who are retaliating in equal measure against the border provocations by Pakistan. He also offered his deepest condolences for BSF Jawan Jitendra Singh, who died fighting in Pakistan firing in the Ranbir Singh Pura sector of Jammu yesterday. Here's what Rajnath Singh has told us.
आप देने के लिए आपको लगता है कि पूरी मुस्तैदी है?
पूरी मुस्तैदी है, चिंता मत करो, पूरी मुस्तैदी है।
सर, कहा गया कि राजनाथ सिंह ने ये इंस्ट्रक्शन दिए हैं कि एक के बजाय आप अगर वो एक फायर करें तो आप 10।
क्या किया है उसके संबंध में मुझे कोई चर्चा नहीं करनी है, लेकिन बस बॉर्डर सिक्योरिटी फोर्स के जवानों पर हम सबको पूरा यकीन है, देश को भी यकीन है और उनकी बहादुरी पर हम सबको नाज है।
सर, बीएसएफ के जवान शहीद हो गए कल, जितेंद्र सिंह बिहार से।
हाँ, ये तो कोई जवान अपना शहीद होता है, पीड़ा तो होती ही है, लेकिन फिर भी हमारे जवान अपनी जिंदगी हथेली पर लेकर भारत के मान सम्मान की रक्षा कर रहे हैं।
And there's some more tragic breaking news coming in from the Pallanwala sector south of the Pir Panjal on the line of control. We have information that one civilian has been killed on the international border. I beg your pardon. One civilian has been killed in the Pallanwala sector in cross-border firing. That's the latest that we're getting right now. Ashwini Kumar is still with us. Ashwini, one civilian killed in Pakistan firing is the confirmation that we're getting right now from the Pallanwala sector.
Yeah, Ashok, there's a continuous shelling and firing in the Pallanwala sector, and Gadial is a place, a small village just near the line of control, and Pakistan has fired a mortar shell in their house, and Arun Kumar is a local villager. He died, and he has been confirmed by the state administration that one civilian is dead in the Pallanwala sector, and number of places the firing and shelling is still continuing in Pallanwala, Navshara and Mendhar area. That is a line of control on international border. RS Pura is again active, and the Samba Kothua and the Hiranagar, it is active since last night. As the additional DGP Arun Kumar said, we have destroyed around a number of posts in the Pakistan.
Okay.
Yeah.
A Pakistan commando team is said to be waiting across the line of control and the international border to cross and is planning a raid, has been planning a raid since yesterday. Indian forces are on high alert on the line of control. A revenge attack has been planned by Pakistan forces, including the Special Services Group, which is the elite commando squad of the Pakistan Army, and they're waiting to cross over to try and conduct a cross-border raid against an Indian unit on the line of control. I want to go straight across to Gaurav Sawant, who's got us the very latest on this. Gaurav, there was apparently a failed attempt at some point yesterday by the Pakistan Army commandos and the SSG to conduct some kind of a cross-border raid, which was apparently foiled by alert Indian Army troops. Apparently, they're still trying to cross.
Shiv, yesterday, from what sources are telling India Today, there were 3 simultaneous attempts made by Pakistan commandos, one at Tangdhar. It was initially seen as an infiltration attempt, but the fact that these terrorists border action team, they stayed on and fought till the time they were effectively beaten back. Some decimated, we are told, in the Tangdhar sector, and firing continued till late at night, is indicative of the fact that this wasn't just an infiltration attempt. It was something far more serious. It was beaten back. Similarly, in the Pallanwala sector, Sundarbani sector, what we are being told, there was an infiltration attempt where Pakistani raiders / border action team, tried to fire a rocket inside one of our posts. Once again, that attempt failed because there was effective response. There is an intelligence alert that on or before Diwali or around Diwali, there would be a border action team attempt made along the line of control. So all along there are additional pickets, additional troops who've been deployed to keep an eye not just on what could happen from across the line of control, but also to protect flanks so that there are no gaps or very little gaps along the line of control. And in one such attempt, these Pakistani terrorists and border action team tried, and they failed, Shiv.
But there are some ambush has been placed.
All right, so a commando squad is waiting to cross and conduct some kind of a border raid in that particular area. Ashraf, I want to come back to you on this. A state of very high alert along the line of control ever since the cross-border raid conducted by the Indian Army last month. What are your sources within those units telling you right now? What are they looking out for? There could be border action teams, there could be terrorist infiltrations like the one that happened yesterday in which an Indian Army Jawan was unfortunately killed in the firefight. What are the new tactics being employed?
Sure, very interesting question. Basically, we have seen these bat operations is not anything new. It is going on since long in the Kashmir Valley, particularly in the areas of line of control. But what Pakistani army here uses, they use the bat operations with the two tactics. On one side, there are the Pakistani army regulars or commandos in those operations, and they are taking the help of the terrorists and the militants in these operations. We have seen in 2013 when a bat operation by the Pakistani army was carried out in the Masil sector. There they also used the people from the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Same tactics may be adopted here. What the sources in the Indian army are saying, that the Pakistani regulars use the Lashkar people with them for the bat operations. They just guide them, show them tactics, show them path, and send them to raid the Indian posts. If they got killed, then it is a infiltration or terror attack. If they return back, then its credit takes the Pakistani army. So that is the tactic which is being observed and which has been seen earlier, and that may be tactic which may be used by Pakistan.
Right.
But one thing I will tell you, after yesterday's incident in Tangdar, the special and para commandos had been dispatched to the different locations on the line of control where such attempts by the Pakistan are assumed, and to reply and to take the action against them. That kind of preparation has been already made by the Indian armed forces on the line of control.